I don't know Foster personally.
There were some things that I saw in the game that, was good to see. I thought our offense kind of responded there in the second half. I think right now our team is too inconsistent right now, and that's what's causing us problems. So we'll have to work to get that corrected. We got 10 days to get it done. So so I'll answer your questions.
Dennis, what did you see on the one that Christian Kirk, the one that turned out to be the game winner?
Yeah, look, we were in a quarters coverage, and guy ran a good route on Tyron, and sometimes that can happen in that coverage. You kind of get drained on the other side of the field. That's what I saw. I didn't see the finish and where everybody else was. I saw the route. I was watching that because I kind of thought that might be something that they would do. And look, he ran a really good route and won.
Dave, what goes into the decision either when it comes to using or not using Jimmy Graham in the red zone?
Yeah, look, it's a staff decision in terms of what we do. So I think anytime you're not successful down there, everybody's going to want to know why you didn't do something else. And look, valid question, but that was we had the plan going in, and that was the plan.
Yeah, obviously the hurry up helped inject some life into the offense.
Yeah.
But the 3 of 18 on third down.
No, look, I thought third down was a big down in the game. You're not going to win a lot of games if you're not able to convert on third down. We were able to convert some fourth downs, but we that area has to be better. Obviously, we didn't finish in the red zone as well as we would have, but if you're 50% in the red zone in the National Football League, you're going to end up being one of the better red zone teams. So there was some improvement there, and yet I still think there's some things that we can be better at. I mean, I think there are some opportunities there that we just missed on. So I think we're a lot closer, but we're still not there yet, and we're going to keep grinding until we get there.
Does this feel like kind of a natural time to take?
Yeah, there's a good little reset here. I told the team in there, it's a good little reset, and so we'll reset, and we'll evaluate, a lot of different things, over the next, 4 or 5 days, as we're starting to get into, our next opponent, and we'll figure out, how we can play a little better and be more consistent. I think if I had one word to say, in terms of where we're at, as a team, it's just we're a little inconsistent, and that's the challenge, and we got to become a more consistent football team.
Andrews coming into the game on the offensive line. How do you think those guys?
I thought the offensive line, overall held up pretty good. I thought, for Andrews Pete not to have played left tackle in, a long time. I heard this morning it was 2018. So, I thought he did a good job. I thought Cam Irving stepped in and did a nice job at right tackle. Obviously, Max Garcia playing at left guard for us. So I thought our offensive line overall, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, you guys tried to go to that fade a couple times in the red zone. What is it about that play that you did?
Yeah, look, I think there's times where that can be, a good play, and obviously we didn't execute it, and certainly if we had, we'd be feeling differently, but we didn't get it done.
Were there things you did beyond just up tempo that sort of kick-started the offense, from the halfway through the third quarter on?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Were there things you did besides just going a little bit more up tempo that you can identify that helped kind of jumpstart the offense?
No, that was kind of the one thing that we kind of talked about probably midway through the third quarter. We just said, hey, look, let's get into some up tempo and see if we can kind of jumpstart this thing a little bit, and we did, and I thought our guys executed, and that was probably the the most positive I could take out of what we did, offensively, was that we found a little something that, now you can't live in that all game, every game. You have to be able to do some other things, but it's nice to know that, if you have to get to that, you can get to it.
When you're running tempo like that, is it mostly Derek kind of setting things at the line?
Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on in a 2-minute drive. I mean, there's constant communication going on, and yet there's some plays there that he's seeing the defense and trying to get us to the best play.
Has Lou Hedley been consistent enough?
No, I think he's got to be more consistent. I mean, I can say that about a lot of our guys. That we have to be, more consistent. So. But yeah, I think there's a lot of guys that need to be more consistent.
Was that 39-yard line, you think? I mean, that's kind of tough in that.
Is that the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a better kick there, so.
It seemed like there were a few more cases where Derek and the receiver didn't see eye to eye. I mean, how frustrating is that after
Yeah,
such a
yeah,
big emphasis?
yeah, I think that's frustrating, That's probably one of the things that I'm most frustrated about, is just that's part of that inconsistency, and so we've got to, I mean, somehow, some way, we got to get those guys on the same page, and there's a lot that goes into that.
And I know people love to parse words, so when you say a little inconsistent, I mean, do you not find the offense to be at almost like an extremely critical point after a couple, like at this point?
Well, I certainly think that we need to be better. And again, I think the last couple of weeks we've been able to do a lot of good things, and yet there's going to be a handful of plays in the game that potentially could be the difference makers in the game. And that's where we have to be. That's where we have to be better, So.
Does it change defensively for you after their first couple of drives when they had really good drives? What did you guys do differently?
Yeah, not a lot. There's a couple things that we changed up. I mean, I thought they did a good job early on with some gadget plays and things of that nature that ended up getting some yards. I thought we did a good job of stopping their run game. We have to do a better job of not letting the freaking quarterback scramble. We have to do a better job of that. That was probably the thing defensively that was the black eye on the whole thing. When you look at their rushing yards and what they were able to do rushing, a majority of that was the quarterback running the ball. So that has to be better. And so, and I thought early on, we didn't quite look. I don't think we were as consistent defensively. I don't think we executed quite as good as we needed to. I think they beat us on a couple of plays that I would have liked to seen us do better. So yeah, so we probably got to maybe a little bit more coverage as the game wore on. They kind of got into a mode where they really were trying to throw the ball, it seemed like, a little bit, but so.
Instead of not take advantage of those 2 turnovers early, how frustrating was that?
Yeah, look, that's frustrating. I mean, it's frustrating that, again, we get in a situation where, we miss another kick, and that's disappointing. That's 2 plus 50s. I think we got to look at that a little bit, and how. But yet, I think that can be the case sometimes with a young kicker. There's going to be a little bit of growing pains there. So, yeah, I would have liked to have seen us take advantage of the 2 early, takeaways.
Dennis, how do you feel like Derek played overall tonight?
I would say, much like I've said about a lot of our guys on our team, I think there's some things that he did really well. I think was a little bit of inconsistency, and I think that overall is that's part of the group. You know what I mean? Like, I think each and every one of us individually needs to be more consistent, and I think if we're able to do that, then collectively as a group, we'll be more consistent.
Do you
What are
feel
some
like-
of the things he could do to be more consistent? I mean, it starts with him on offense, right? When you talk about this, the communication.
Yeah, we're not gonna try to point fingers at anybody, you know? We all gotta be better.
Do you feel like the inconsistencies are something that can be fixed pretty easily, or do you think it's like a harder task to get everybody on the same page with them?
Well, I think that's something that we're gonna continue to work on. So, you know,
Seemed like from our vantage point, there were a couple of times before plays were run where it looked like Derek might have been like kind of trying to communicate with the sideline. Were there some communication issues at all with anything going on there?
no.
Was he dealing with something late in the game, obviously he went down? Is that right?
Yeah, he got hit in an area.
One more.
All right, guys, thanks.